Nation of Fit in 10, welcome to day 58. And we are officially out of the teens in terms of days left. We've got 12 days to go, soon to be in the single digits, if you can believe it. And yes, this challenge goes by super fast. I keep saying this, and I guess you really don't need me to keep saying it because you realize it's going by super fast, right? 12 days to go, and I want to remind you to continue to sprint. Keep going, put in as much effort as you can every day. This goes for your workouts, your cardio, and of course, your diet. Your diet's going to play the biggest role. Okay? As I've said before, you can, in theory, do as much exercise as you want and conceivably not lose any weight. And likewise, you could conceivably do no exercise and lose weight, just simply because there's only so much energy the body can burn. There's only so much energy you can output for the day. But in theory, you know, we can do a lot of damage with what we eat, especially with what we choose to eat. All right, and then also with that consistency day in, day out, right? How consistent are we? Are we good for a number of days and then we have a really bad day? Right? Do we self-sabotage sometimes? And just on that note, you know, somebody wrote me and said, hey, listen, you know, those last few days haven't been great. And to be honest with you, this person, when they say this, they're still really, really good. This person's diet is almost entirely real whole food, always, day in, day out. Very, very consistent. And of course, had some very good scans with this person. But ultimately what I want to talk about is this person went out for breakfast. I think it was work related. There weren't really any good protein options there. So a little bit unprepared, but still chose to just eat a little bit of fruit, which obviously isn't the best breakfast. It's just a carbohydrate-rich breakfast, essentially. But nonetheless, real whole food, and then made up the protein for the remainder of the day. Okay, so this person still made the best of the situation, didn't self-sabotage, didn't give herself an excuse to fall off the wagon. She decided, okay, I'm gonna make the best of this. What can I do? Real whole food. What kind of real whole foods can I have here? Fruit. All right, I'm gonna have some fruit, and then as soon as I get home, and for the remainder of the day, I'm going to make up that protein amount. And you know, listen, your diet's not all about protein, but protein is the biggest one. Okay, protein's gonna help this a lot. It's gonna help you to stay alert. It's gonna help you to stay motivated, believe it or not. It's gonna help with that dopamine production. It's also gonna help you to stay satiated. It's going to help prevent fat gain. Okay, it's also got the highest thermic effect, right? Takes the most energy to digest, etc., right? It is really the, well, fat is a building block as well, but it is really the primary building block of the body, so on and so forth. Protein is super important, so make sure you get all your protein. It is a game changer, especially when it comes to fat loss. Now, on the topic of protein, how do you choose a good protein? Well, if you can get one, so this is obviously ATP Lab, a company that I really, really think is a great company, a Canadian company. All formulations were done by Dr. Dwayne Jackson, a biochemist, a man that is very well versed in physiology and the biochemistry of the human body. He still lectures, and he has his own company called Prescript, or works with a company called Prescript. He's got a couple companies, and does certifications for nutrition. Anyways, he makes all these formulations, and there's a reason why each and every single ingredient is in there. But coming to protein, how do we choose a good protein powder? Number one, okay, one thing I just want to say actually is don't buy a protein from Costco. Okay, I don't think Costco's got any good protein powders there. You are allowed to be at least 20% off label claim, okay? But if you're buying something that is pharmaceutical grade, like this, all right, you've got to be within very, very close standards to the label claim, okay? And I can't remember how close you have to be. It's something like 1% or something. It's very, very close. All right, so what you see on the label is what you get. And this is really, really important, right? Because we want those labels, obviously we want to know what we're getting in. The only way we know is what the label says. So look at that. Number 2, let's look at the list of ingredients. Okay, number 2 and number 3 are kind of interchangeable, but look at the ingredients. Ultimately, we don't want a lot of ingredients in a powder, okay? Ideally, maybe like 5 max, 6 max. You don't want 12 or 15 or something like that. So what are the ingredients in this? Well, in terms of medical ingredients, we've got whey protein isolate, which is awesome, and it's grass-fed whey. That is, the cows are grass-fed. And the non-medical ingredients include organic flavoring. There is a fiber gum, xanthine gum in here, and there's organic stevia. Okay, so we've got basically a total of 4 ingredients. So very, very good. I like that. That's what I want to see. Minimal ingredients. Now, usually with minimal ingredients means it's not going to be like, you know, the best flavor, although I think the flavor in this is still pretty good. Next, we're going to look at the purity. How do we know how pure something is? Look at the serving size and then look at the amount of protein you get. So in this case, we've got 30 gram servings. How much protein do we get in 30 grams? We get 27 grams. This is 90% pure. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay, anything less than, you know, I wouldn't probably buy anything less than 80% pure. Okay, 75% pure is really, really kind of pushing it. 80% purity and above is really what I'd shoot for. This is 90% pure. So very, very good in terms of purity. And of course, we want to look at the source of protein. What are the sources? Okay, in this case, this is whey. Whey has got a very high biological value. It's got a very high bioavailability. That means it gets in your body and can get utilized. We don't want to be taking something that's just going to go through us. All right, so having a whey or a beef-based protein is going to be, those are going to be much more bioavailable. Micellar casein is another one. As we start to get into the plant-based proteins, rice-based, pea-based, this type of thing, the bioavailability goes down. So we end up excreting more of that. We don't get in as much. So not only is the protein source not as good based on the amino acid profile, those essential, especially those essential amino acids, is really what we're after because we can't create those, right? We have to get those through diet. Unfortunately, non-animal-based proteins are low in those essential amino acids, and then on top of that, the protein is just not as bioavailable. All right. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to eat those things. Obviously, if you're vegan or whatever, that's what you're going to have to use a soy-based or pea-based or rice-based or something like that, hemp-based protein powder. But you're just not going to get as much of it. So you almost need to take more of it, and that's just the way it is. Just because it's, again, this is not my opinion. It's not, you know, I'm not trying to insult anybody here. It's just what is. It's just what is. So you know, I'm really going to encourage you to you know, try to have those animal-based proteins because they are just much more available as to the human species. It's just the way it is. It's just the way we evolved. So if you're looking for good protein, go with ATP Lab. There are other great companies out there that have good products. Okay, this is not the only company, but this is one that I think is really, really good. Okay, so again, looking at the list of ingredients, 6 ingredients or less, I think is really, really good. Look at exactly what's going into it. Look at the source of the protein. Look at the purity of the protein. And of course, is it pharma grade, right? Is it pharmaceutical grade? All right, let's get to the message of the day. On this day 58. And where is my message of the day? On this day 58, it is all your fault. It is all your fault. Yeah, you're not gonna like this one. It's all your fault, primarily, okay? We are largely responsible for where we are today, okay? I know we don't like to hear that, but ultimately this is a great thing, because if we can take personal responsibility, we can change our situation. As soon as we believe that we don't have personal responsibility, or we have less personal responsibility, or there's less control that we have, what can you do? If you don't have control, there's not much you can do, but you do have control, and you can take control, and you can make things happen. I'm not saying it's easy, but you can, right? And it all starts with small steps. Look for small steps. Look for things, you're at point A, you want to get to point B. Dwindle it down to small steps, right? So maybe you're still way off in your macros, or maybe you're, inconsistent. So work on that consistency. Maybe it's something like, okay, I'm going to get a good, a protein strong food at breakfast every day. Okay. And that's just going to be my focus, because I'm not even doing that right now. That's going to be my focus, because that's super, super important. Or Mark says it's super important. You've got to look for these things where you can help yourself to improve, right? Take responsibility, take onus, know that you have more control than you think. And ultimately, you are the maker of your own destiny. Make things happen. You can do this. You can. You have more control. You can do better than you think. Ultimately, I think we are each and every one of us are capable of way more than what we even believe. Way, way more, I think. So take responsibility and do your absolute best, especially during these last 12 days, okay? Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.